A man prepares to leave the museum, unaware that he is being watched by Mystery Inc. A sudden uneasy feeling comes over him. He accidentally turns on the radio and it startles him. As he bends down to pick up some documents, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy suddenly scream. It turns out that two corpses have risen and are advancing toward them with weapons in hand. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy quickly throw objects to distract them, then activate a trap, but it does not work properly. They have no choice but to run. Yet running is not a good solution because they are soon cornered. Just as the two corpses rush forward, a mysterious man sweeps their legs and makes them fall. The mysterious man reveals himself and Velma immediately recognizes him as Ben Ravencroft, a famous horror writer from Oakhaven. He and Velma quickly remove the masks from the two corpses and discover that they are disgruntled archaeologists from the museum's Babylon project. All because their superiors cut their funding. After the two men are taken away, Mystery Inc. asks why a horror writer like Ben comes here. He explains that he is researching for a new novel and comes to seek inspiration, with her idol standing right in front of her. Velma takes the chance to express her admiration for Ben. Mystery Inc. are surprised to learn that he already knows about them, since both sides work in the same field of uncovering mysteries. They easily find common ground. Seeing this, Ben invites Mystery Inc. to visit his hometown Oakhaven, a place he describes as peaceful and relaxing. Mystery Inc. agree because they also want a break after dealing with so many frightening mysteries. They arrive in Oakhaven and are surprised to see that it is a bustling tourist attraction rather than a quiet town. The streets are packed with visitors. Even Ben does not expect his hometown to develop this quickly. He asks the mayor what he does, and the mayor explains that he transforms Oakhaven into a replica of the town in the 17th century, the period when the ghost of the witch haunts the town. Next, pharmacist McKnight appears to promote a concert by the Hex Girls, a local rock band with a witch-inspired style. The mayor then reveals that the ghost of the witch is Sarah Ravencroft, who is Ben's ancestor. Ben finds this claim absurd, even though the mayor insists that the ghost of the witch appears many times. Afterwards, the mayor guides Ben and Mystery Inc. around the recreated 17th century town. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy join in and make the atmosphere more lively. The sight of a dog behaving like a human excites the tourists around them. Meanwhile, Velma asks the mayor about the story of the ghost of the witch. He explains that in the 1600s the whole town suspects Sarah Ravencroft of being a witch. Ben argues that his ancestor is wrongly accused because she only uses natural herbs to heal people. He also reveals that she keeps a diary recording all her patients, and now he only wants to find it to clear her name. Meanwhile, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy play around when a sudden gust of wind blows away Scooby-Doo's hat. He chases after it, but a groundhog grabs it. Scooby-Doo tries to pull it back and gets bitten. In anger, he digs straight down and accidentally uncovers a strange object. The mayor takes one look and says it may be a 400-year-old shoe buckle. After hearing that, Shaggy wants to try it on his shoe and asks Scooby-Doo to find the other one to complete the pair. The mayor mentions that while restoring this area he finds numerous old artifacts. Ben asks about Sarah's diary, but the mayor replies that he never finds it. Just then, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy's stomachs rumble loudly and the mayor realizes they need food. He offers to take them to a local restaurant to relax, and they immediately agree. The others receive an invitation to Ben's studio, so Mystery Inc. split up. Afterwards, the mayor brings Scooby-Doo and Shaggy to his close friend's restaurant. The moment Scooby-Doo sees the steak, his mouth waters non-stop. The owner quickly serves Scooby-Doo and Shaggy and enthusiastically introduces the restaurant's signature dishes, and the two can no longer resist their cravings. Meanwhile, the rest of the group tour Ben's studio. Ben explains that he writes all his novels there and spends most of his time in Europe, but he returns once a year to rest. When Fred notices a painting, he asks who it is, and Ben reveals that it is Sarah Ravencroft, a woman who dedicates her life to healing others. Sarah Ravencroft is a follower of Wicca, and her unconventional approach to medicine alienates the town's doctors, so they plot against her. At the same time, the customers in the diner are astonished to see a human and a dog eat so much. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy eat all the food in the diner, making the owner nervous. Just then, the rest of the Mystery Inc. arrives. The owner suddenly announces that he closes the diner because he runs out of food and has to go to the market to buy more. Meanwhile, Velma, Fred and Daphne invite Scooby-Doo and Shaggy to see the ghost of the witch in the evening. After the sun sets, everyone gathers in town to wait for the ghost of the witch to appear. But they wait for an hour and nothing happens, so they go home. Ben feels a little disappointed because he also wants to speak with his ancestors to search for the diary. Meanwhile, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy finish all the food, driving the diner owner into bankruptcy. On their way to meet the others, they spot three girls. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy quickly suck in their bellies and puff themselves up to look stronger so they can flirt, but when they notice the girls have fangs, their bellies instantly drop back down and they run away in fear. After running for a while, they burn through all the food they eat, while they are still shocked that there seem to be 3 ghosts. The real ghost of the witch suddenly appears. She keeps declaring that the town will pay for what it does, and she throws fireballs at Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. As they run, they crash into the others. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy immediately say they see the ghost of the witch, but when everyone come to check, nothing is there. They insist that the ghost of the witch attacks them with fireballs. Velma notices strange dust on the ground, and Fred and Daphne discover that tree branches are snapped cleanly from the top in a perfectly straight line. When they see a glowing area nearby, the Mystery Inc. grows curious and decides to investigate. Soon they find the Hex Girls performing. Only then do Scooby-Doo and Shaggy realize they misunderstand the 3 girls earlier. When the Hex Girls finish their performance, the crowd applauds and it turns out they rehearse for tomorrow's show. However, the Mystery Inc. still suspects the Hex Girls, so Fred and Daphne decide to investigate them, while the others return to the scene where the ghost of the witch appears to continue searching for clues. Before long, Velma's group discovers strange tire tracks. The 4 of them follow the tracks and unexpectedly see the mayor doing something suspicious inside a warehouse. Velma suggests that they split up. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy follow the mayor, while she and Ben investigate the warehouse to find out what he hides inside. Meanwhile, Fred and Daphne follow the Hex Girls and see them about to separate and head home. The leader Thorn says she performs the ritual instead of the other 2 because their powers grow weaker. This makes Fred and Daphne even more suspicious of the Hex Girls. At the same time, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy watch the mayor leave a shop. They pretend to be a couple to avoid being noticed. The mayor talks to several townspeople and hands them items. On the other hand, Velma and Ben successfully sneak into the warehouse. There they find a cherry blossom truck that is still warm, proving it has just been used. Fred and Daphne follow Thorn to her house and see her performing a mysterious ritual, which leads them to conclude that she is the ghost of the witch. At the same time, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy follow the mayor to another warehouse. There they lose track of him but instead run into the ghost of the witch. She is furious because someone disturbs her resting place, so she charges at Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. The 2 panic and run, crashing straight into the mayor. Not watching where they are going, they also slam into Velma and Ben. Moments later, Fred and Daphne arrive. The 4 ask what happens and Scooby-Doo and Shaggy immediately talk about the ghost of the witch. The mayor overhears everything from a distance and steps forward to clear his name. He leads Ben and the Mystery Inc. to the warehouse where the ghost supposedly appears, but nothing unusual is there. Velma quickly apologizes and explains that Scooby-Doo and Shaggy simply lose their nerve out of fear. Then she suggests working together with the mayor to uncover the truth behind the ghost of the witch, and he agrees. Later, Scooby-Doo, Shaggy and Velma go to the Hex Girls' performance site, following Velma's request. Ben calls the 3 members over. They still do not understand what Velma plans when the ghost of the witch suddenly appears. She swoops down and attacks Scooby-Doo, Shaggy and Velma, but she does not realize that everything unfolds according to Velma's plan. Within seconds, Fred's trap activates. The Mystery Inc. rushes in and unmasks the culprit, revealing the face of Pharmacist McKnight behind the ghost's mask. Another shock follows when Thorn calls Pharmacist McKnight her father. Now Velma explains everything. Pharmacist McKnight uses a device taken from the Hex Girls' stage props to create the fireballs. The cherry blossom truck that Velma and Ben discover earlier helps him glide above the treetops. There is even a giant fan to produce the strange wind. However, Pharmacist McKnight cannot manage everything alone, so he receives help from several townspeople, including the mayor. Ben feels deeply disappointed because his ancestors' honor is exploited. Afterwards, everyone returns to Ben's house. The Mystery Inc. apologizes to the Hex Girls for suspecting them of being the ghost of the witch. Thorn then explains the ritual she performs. She does it to improve her singing voice. She also reveals that she follows Wicca, and her fangs are only fake props. Just then, the mayor and pharmacist C. Knight unexpectedly drop by to apologize to Ben for using Sarah Ravencroft's image. The mayor explains that he feels forced to do it in order to revive the town's struggling economy due to the lack of tourists. He also admits that the townspeople accidentally dig up Sarah Ravencroft's tombstone, but they never truly find her grave. Hearing this, Velma remembers the object Scooby-Doo finds earlier. It is not a shoelace clasp at all, but the lock of a book. Scooby-Doo leads everyone to the spot where he discovers it. Velma asks him to dig deeper, but he refuses at first, so she brings out a Scooby snack. As soon as he finishes eating, Scooby-Doo eagerly starts digging. Soon he pulls a chest out of the ground. When they open the chest, Everyone stares in shock because the book inside looks nothing like a diary. At that moment, Ben reveals his true face. It is not a diary but a spell book. Fear spreads among the group. Ben declares that Sarah Ravencroft not only follows Wicca, but she is also a real witch. The Mystery Inc. cannot believe they fall into his trap so easily. From the very beginning, Ben carefully plans everything to lure them to Oakhaven. He recites a spell and releases Sarah Ravencroft's power. With this new power, he easily controls the mayor and pharmacist McKnight. He also binds the Hex Girls so they cannot move. The Mystery Inc. tries to seize the book while he is distracted, but they fail. Realizing their intention, Ben creates a ring of fire around Velma, Fred, and Daphne. Eager to witness the book's ultimate power, he begins summoning its true owner, Sarah Ravencroft. Yet before he can finish the incantation, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy burst in with the Mystery Machine and interrupt him. Next, the Mystery Inc. runs away and Ben chases after them. Velma reminds Shaggy that they need to get the book, so Shaggy drives the car straight into a pile of pumpkins. Ben trips and Scooby-Doo takes the chance to grab the book. However, Ben still holds his power. He damages one wheel of the Mystery Machine. Then he destroys the remaining wheels one by one until the vehicle is completely ruined. Now no one seems able to stop him from finishing the spell. Once he completes it, the ground shakes and the air trembles. Soon the spirit of Sarah Ravencroft truly appears, but things do not go the way Ben expects. Sarah has a powerful ego and refuses to obey him, even though Ben is her descendant. She does not care at all. She just wants to punish the town for its past sins. She plans to create an age of darkness and causes everything around her to wither and decay. This is not what Ben wants because he dreams to rule the world, not to destroy it. They argue fiercely and Sarah ultimately eliminates Ben without hesitation. She even mocks him for believing he can control her. She declares that only a follower of Wicca has enough power to weaken her. Meanwhile, Velma urges Scooby-Doo and Shaggy to try to get the book again. They refuse at first, so she brings out Scooby Snacks to persuade them. Then Velma, Fred, and Daphne lure Sarah away to create an opening. But they do not expect that Sarah is powerful enough to attack them while also guarding the book at the same time. She summons a giant turkey to chase Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, while Velma, Fred, and Daphne run from monstrous pumpkins. When Daphne falls, Fred rushes to help her, but both of them get captured. Velma quickly uses oil to make the pumpkin monsters slip and freeze them. On the other side, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy trick the giant turkey into entering a house and trap it inside. They laugh proudly at their success, unaware that Sarah stands right behind them. Closing the door means nothing to a witch. They disguise themselves as farmers to scare the turkey. But when Sarah approaches again, they abandon the turkey and run. Meanwhile, Velma and Daphne successfully rescue the Hex Girls. Velma believes that since Thorn follows Wicca, she may be able to weaken Sarah. Thorn insists she is not truly a witch, but after Velma's pleading, she agrees to help. At the same time, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy continue trying to escape. In a brief moment of carelessness, Scooby-Doo is captured by Sarah. Shaggy throws a bucket of cold water at her, but it does nothing. Desperate, he dumps the entire bucket over her head and tries to seize the book, yet water cannot overpower a witch. Sarah quickly breaks free and summons pumpkin monsters to retrieve the book. As Shaggy gets caught, he manages to toss the book to Scooby-Doo. Sarah's traps keep appearing, so the Mystery Inc. passes the book from hand to hand. Finally, it reaches Thorn. She reads the spell aloud, and this time it works. Sarah's magic dissolves and she is pulled back into the book. Unwilling to go alone, so she drags Ben in with her. It is a fitting end for someone consumed by dark ambition. Although evil is defeated, the damage to the town is severe. The mayor worries about how to rebuild the economy. Then Shaggy points at the giant turkey, suggesting they turn it into a new tourist attraction to replace the ghost of the witch.